What's up, guys? Today we're looking at Mega Gengar EX, a Stage 2 Pokemon coming out in our Phantasmal Flame set. It's a little bit unique because in Japan, this card is already legal due to it being in their little battle decks, and we do get the Mega Gengar and Mega DNC cards in our battle decks as well, but those don't release till later in October, and they will not become legal until Phantasmal Flames does at the end of November. Now, Mega Gengar EX is actually a very, very powerful card, and I think it's very meta warping with 350 HP as a dark type, has the ability Shadow Hiding. When one of your dark type Pokemon is knocked out by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon EX, your opponent takes one less prize card. This effect does not stack. So one less all your dark type Pokemon basically become one less prize card to your opponent's EX Pokemon, and you it's kind of broken. Basically, just it's a free life do on everybody. And then you avoid yells the attack for two darks. It does 230, and you move an energy to this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon, which is pretty good. Now, I think this is like a really cool card, and it's coupled with the Punk Helmet tool here to do 4 damage counters to your opponent's active attacking Pokemon. I think this like card is like very, very impactful, and I can't wait to actually see how this is played. It's one of my favorite cards I think that I've seen in the new era. Very, very powerful for Dark type Pokemon. Obviously, pairing with Fez or Grim is very obvious. But if you guys enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. And we're gonna jump right into this Decklist profile. We can see here there's a very heavy Gengar line 413 with 2 Sableye for attacking. We've got a couple of we got a Pheasantipity and a Petch. Basically, the Fez becomes a one prizer. So even if your opponent like chooses to chase it down pretty aggressively, the Gengar makes it a one prizer, and the Petch also lets us have some mobility with our Pokemon, especially when we're moving energy to the bench. The Monkey Dory is a natural inclusion when we move an energy to our bench, as well as Dark type energy being in the deck. We have the Tatsugiri to find supporters. It is one of the hardest things to do in this deck. 4 Ball, 3 Ultra, 2 Poffin, just consistency, and the 1 Mega Signal. 3 candies to just get up to our Gengars as quickly as possible. A couple ways to find energy. The Mochis to just boost our damage up to 270 with the Petrant, which makes sense quite a bit to me, and with a Rugged Helmet as well. We have the Dark type Stadium that makes everyone who benches Pokemon that aren't Dark type take 2 damage counters, so it's pretty easy for people to take damage. And also, we can couple that with our own Monkey Dory to put damage onto our board. We have the 4 Lilies and the 4 Arven, basically to have our early game setup be as flawless as possible. Into the Ionos and the Janines. The Janines are just going to accelerate the energy into play much, much quicker than you would otherwise, because you can Janine and attach, and now your Gengar is ready to attack. And that just makes like the process a lot quicker, and Tatsugiri can find that for you as well. So a lot of really cool pieces here with the 1 Rugged Helmet. And let's kind of see how the deck plays out. I'm very excited to see it. I think it's very, very good. This deck might make an appearance at the Yokohama, I think, coming up soon. I'll be covering that on my YouTube channel. Some of the more high profile games that you guys see. We see a Nest Ball here, the Sableye opener. We're gonna probably go get a Ghastly, which is like the most likely target. Yep. We see Miraidon on the right side here. We're gonna put the Stadium down, just to get the damage preemptively flowing if that does happen. We're gonna see the Monkey hit the board as well. And we're just gonna go ahead and put 2 damage counters on the Monkey. Exactly what I told you would happen. And we're gonna attach the Dark to the Ghastly, it looks like, not to the Monkey. We're just gonna pass it over. Prepping the board, we're gonna see the Miraidon Tandem Unit effect. I don't believe this procs, because it has to be from hand the damage counter, so it just is not going to proc the stadium whatsoever. We're going to go ahead and get the Miraidon and the Iron Hands, basically just becoming an aggro, looks like an aggro Miraidon deck. No, it does proc. It does proc, apparently. Cool. It does proc that at any point in time. So we're going to Miraidon again, get the double electric. So it is a Mega Manectric deck here. And it's going to proc this stadium once again. So a lot of damage already on the board. A Nest Ball. This stadium is getting full value in this situation. Getting another 2 damage counters onto the board, and we're gonna go ahead and put the Arvin. We're gonna Arvin for probably Electric Generator plus the Wishful Baton. Um, Basically seeing if we can get the Iron Hands turn 1 here. We do need a lot of pieces to get this done too. Do we get any energy? No energy. This is everyone who's ever played an Electric Generator deck knows the pain that this brings to the table. Um, Obviously, very rough one here. We're gonna go ahead and see the baton being attached anyway. I mean, there's nowhere else it can really go. We do want to put it here. Um, and I think Manectric is like a 4 treats is way too much. Yeah, I agree. Um, we're gonna attach the balloon to the active Pokemon. We're gonna attach to the Iron Hands anyway. We're gonna use Squawkabilly, getting rid of the Manectric as well. One of the better attackers in this deck, and just to pass over a lot of whiffs here. We see the Lily's Determination in the hands. We're gonna go ahead and attach to the active. Um, nope, to the Monkey Dory, it looks like. We're going to go ahead and just slam the Lily's Determination, seeing 8 cards. One of the best early game setup cards as well, because between Arvin and Lily's, like if you go back to back on those, you're seeing Arvin to get your pieces in the board, and then Lilies to see 8 cards, which almost certainly will find some pieces to keep the ball rolling. I see the Poffin here, and I see a Haunter as well. We're going to be able to keep everything kind of just going at full speed, full steam. Tatsugiri, and we're going to grab the Gengar as well here. And the Tatsugiri will take 20 damage from the stadium. And that's also just really good because this damage is going to keep stacking up on the board, and the Monkey Door will be able to keep moving it back and forth. The Haunter hitting the board, the one Haunter hitting the board, and we're going to be able to Monkey Dory 20 damage if we want to, which we're going to choose to do. Putting it on the electric, and we're going to pass it over. We're going to go ahead and see the Ultra Ball coming through, getting the Manectric, evolving up the one with 20 damage on it, making it a little bit bigger. Iron Hands getting another energy attachment. We're going to see the Iono here, going to the 6 and seeing more. I mean, this deck, I think, plans to be more aggressive, so it is like more reasonable to play heavier Ionos than if you were to play Lily's Determination, because you do want to keep going through your deck pretty quickly. Maybe there is Lily's as well. Just seeing a turn 1 attack for a lot of damage would be really good. If we attach to the Squawk actually this turn, we could have powered up the Iron Hands. So a little bit of an oversight here. The Mega Gengar is going to hit the board here. But the Iron Hands would just immediately go down. The Squawk would go down anyway. But like if we're going to retreat, we might as well have attached the Squawk ability, because then we could have used Squawk to use Motivate and actually power up our board in this capacity. We're going to attach to the Gengar here. We're going to see the Balloon hitting the board, moving the Sableye out of the active, putting the Gengar up in the active, and we're going to see Monkey Dory moving 20 to the electric again, basically putting it in almost KO range. We're going to say the last spot for Petrant here, it seems like, because the Petrant will give us more damage with the Mochi, and we'll just pop the Squawkabilly, nothing too crazy, and we're just going to move the energy backwards onto the Sableye, getting it ready to go, and we're going to be able to just acquire 2 prize cards off the rip, basically getting off to a super early lead as the Gengar deck. We're going to go ahead and see the Pheasantipity hit the board, see 3 new cards. We need a lot of help here if we are this Mega Manectric deck, because right now it's not really looking like the most favorable board state for this deck. So we'll see what we have. The Academy at Night coming through. Finally, a stadium bump for the Dark type stadium. A little bit too late though, and we can put energies on our top of our deck to generator it, which is kind of funny. We'll put it on the top, and there's a generator, so we guarantee at least 1 hit. We got to make our own luck, and there's the 1. It's just the 1. Oh my god! Like, this is just so depressing. We're gonna attach again to the Iron Hands, and we're gonna basically just go up. And I mean, I think we're looking for a Prime maybe. I think I saw the Prime in hand. We're gonna boss up the Monkey Dory probably. I think it's the best option. Nope, getting the Tatsu here. And we're gonna be able to go into the Iron Hands and just attack here, take 2 prize cards. So we're just looking for the boss, and maybe like blow up the active strategy with Manectric. We're just gonna be very much take 2. Put ourselves in a pretty back to net neutral state. The Gengar does have the ability to knock out this Iron Hands, and while we take 2 prize cards, the energies do get to go hit the board, and does make a little bit of a problem. We'll be able to like Fez here if we want to immediately. We're choosing to do that immediately. I don't see a way to get to Gengar. We see the Candy though, and I mean knocking out the active is like pretty reasonable this turn. Um, yeah, we have the Baton though. That is a little bit of an issue. I think that's what he's thinking about. But we can boss kill the Fez, which is also like totally okay. Um, with the Gengar, and like just avoid the energies like hitting the board. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I would do as well. Boss kill the Fez. The energies get stuck where they're supposed to be. Um, and now this Mega Man actually can't really get powered up this turn. We're just gonna pop this once again and like accelerate to probably the Ghastly here. The best place to put it. And now we like win the game with a boss. Pretty easily. So we get Academy at Night, a card to the top of our deck too, which makes it so we are Iono proof also, which is really funny. So we can put the Arven to the top of our deck to basically like guarantee that we see some more good cards, and we're gonna go ahead and put the Stadium in play, and we'll just move the energy to our Ghastly almost certainly. So yep, I like that. Exactly the play I would have made as well. You see this guy coming back into the active. A lot of cards need to be produced this turn for the knockout to come through from the Manectric here, the Mega Manectric. Right now the energies are all trapped on this Iron Hands, and so there's not a lot of motion happening. And there's no Magnemite in play or anything, so we can't even pop it. The hand is literally the worst hand. I don't see an Iono. There's an Arven. I mean, I've been in this spot before. You guys have been in this spot before. You know how bad it feels when you have to just hope your opponent doesn't have it. But the Academy at Night at a card to the top of their deck, so they know they don't like they might have it. There is 2 there, so we do get the hit. There's the attach with the Manectric as well. Another Manectric hitting the board, so no free cheap shots on damage. I mean, benching the Mew doesn't really matter because a boss would end the game no matter what, I think. So we're going to see this again. I mean, the Sableye can not knock out the Mew, I guess. That's like the one oversight, I think. We're going to go ahead and do the one-shot attack with Mega Manectric, discarding all the energies, doing 330, knocking out the... Nope, we're 20 short of knocking out the Gengar. That's 350 HP. We are 20 damage short. That's a little bit ridiculous. And there's the boss's orders. It doesn't matter. Just bring up the Mew, take the infinite damage, and we'll get the knockout here. It does not matter. We have the game. So Gengar is like super resilient, and also like even had we been taking prize cards while the Gengar's in play, it just gets like worse and worse. Like the Iron Hands wouldn't have actually been able to do anything. I don't know if I like this list and the concept of it, but I think there's a lot of potential here, and I like the idea of what it's trying to do. So Mega Gengar, I think overall good card, good deck. I'm excited to see what comes out of it in the Champions League this weekend. We'll look at some city leagues as well, and just early results, so we can check that out. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video, and peace out.